Okay, good night, professors. Good night, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about instructed language acquisition. I'm sorry for the for my face, but it's very late today. It is about 1 o'clock in the morning. So, as you can see, my voice doesn't sound properly. Well, um, today I'm going to explain this for Professors Lidia Fuentealba and Jose Reyes. My name is Jaime Corral. Okay, let's go. I'm going to talk about first some key theories about Schmidt's not using hypothesis. I'm going to talk about Bill Bath pattern as well, about his theory of input processing. And also, I'm going to talk about this woman, very intelligent woman, which is called Meryl Swines. She talks about her output hypothesis, okay? Let's begin with Richard Smith. His Malthusian hypothesis. Okay, what is he explaining in his theory? First of all, he says that attention is crucial for intake. This is a theory within a second language acquisition in which a learner cannot continue advancing their language abilities or grasp linguistic feeders unless they notice the input. Okay, what is he trying to explain to us? Um, Let me give you a quick example. For example, if the student is learning about grammatical structure, like in a sentence that says, "She are not my friend." Okay. At the moment, the student pay attention to the grammatical mistake, but not the general idea. The student is grasping the mistake and student is and understanding, okay, what the mistake is. Okay, so attention is the most important thing. Putting attention to every detail in this little sentence will make the students uh, learn by heart the linguistic structure, not only paying attention to the pragmatic meaning of the sentence. Okay, so let's go with one pattern. In his theory, he talks about the input processing theory. Learners have limited processing capacity and cannot pay attention to form and meaning at the same time. So, students tend to give priority to meaning first when the content in which they hear a sentence helps them make sense of it. They do not notice the details of the language form. What do I mean by this? Humans develop mechanisms that allows them to selectively attend to incoming stimuli. Learners have limited processing capacity and cannot pay attention to form and meaning at the same time. In this theory, Van Pattern suggests three stages. The first stage is conversion of input to intake. The second stage is accumulation, restructuring, or incorporation. And the last stage is into data currently incorporated. Okay, let's see with the next one. Meryl Swine's output theory says that learning takes place when learners encounter a fissure or a gap in his linguistic knowledge of the language too. Here is when learners become more aware and may be able to modify their output. The more output I produce, the more I test what I don't know. Here, a student make a mistake. A student says, "Yesterday I go to the beach. I go to the beach." And the teacher says, "No, did you mean yesterday I went to the beach?" And the student said, "Exactly. Yesterday I went to the beach." When the students realize about this mistake is when the learning takes place. Okay? Let's go with now the teachers. Well, when we talk about instructed language teacher, the roles of the teachers are the following. There are so many teachers roles here, but I decided to summarize the ideas in these four main roles. The first role is instructor. The instructor gives lessons that allow students to increase their knowledge of a specific subject. By being proficient at their job studies, they help those they instruct prepared for future opportunities. Okay. The second role is facilitator. Here provides an educational atmosphere where students have the opportunity to fulfill their potential for intellectual, emotional, physical, and psychological growth. The third one is the assessor. An assessor in the context of education and training ensures that the learner is eligible enough to meet the standard required to gain a particular qualification. And the last one, the planner, is when the teacher plans the materials to ensure that the lesson is appropriate for the students and the learning process. The teacher, I'm sorry, I went, the, I'm sorry, I have, okay. I don't know why this went beyond before I pressed the button. So I'm going to go with effective instructional strategies. First strategy that I'm going to talk about is to build relationships beyond the classroom and appreciate the culture. For example, when we are working in high school, if we finish at 6 o'clock and then we say, okay, I'm going to stay after the class, and you see some student playing on the background, and you decide to stay some minutes later to talk to your students and say, and take your time to ask some questions to these students. For example, saying, approaching to these students, you ask, uh, what what sort of things do you like, or what is your favorite movie, what is your favorite team, so you can get some information and get to know them better, so you can prepare a class um, with the things that they like the most. It doesn't matter if you're covering grammar or vocabulary or whatever. You just approach to them and ask what they like in order to personalize the class to their specific interest. Let's see the second strategy. Regular check of understanding and feedback. What do I mean by this? When we are teachers, we don't have to be just in front of the class on their computer. We just we have to go through the classroom walking and checking if they are writing, if they are having some questions, speaking more to the students, not only being showing a PowerPoint presentation in front of the class. We we have to go beyond that. We have to get close to them and ask if they need something. How is everything going in the classroom? Okay. So that's what I mean with this. Okay. The next one, model for students. Whenever we are teaching pronunciation or writing, we need to show them how is the best way to speak. we are practicing pronunciation, let's give them some examples. Let's do some reelings, some sentences. We have to pronounce it for them, not only, okay, here's the word, you have to do it. Okay, we just have to give them some examples. And if we are writing, try to write in on the board or show them in their notebooks, but always model. Okay. And number 4 says modify instructions or methodology. And this happens very often to me, especially when I am working with first grade and fourth grade in high school. Sometimes I want to apply similar activities, but with young students, they are more anxious. So I have to do more activities for little guys because they have a lot of energy. So I have to give more papers or I have to give them more games. But with older students, they, I don't know if because of their age, but I think that with less activities, they work better because they learn faster and they can speak more. However, on the other hand, with little guys, they do more writing activities, more reading tasks. But when it comes to speaking, it's for them it's more difficult because they still have a very very low base of the English language. Let's see some challenges and limitations of this. There is over reliance on memorization. There is no some communication because this method is teacher centered. Um, it it produces more boredom on the students as there is so much grammar instructions more than communication, and the lack of creativity as well. As this is a model in which the teacher is in charge of the class. There is no much creativity like stimulation. So my recommendations for further research are all the writings about David Ausubel, because he says that previous knowledge, when combines with the new knowledge, is when the real learning happens. For example, there is an acronym that I like the most about Cristiano Ronaldo that says the GOAT. And I thought that it was a goat like the animal, but then when I did the research about that, it says greatest of all time, and I never forgot that it was one of my most significant learnings. And when I taught my students that they really like football in my school, I taught what goat mean. They couldn't believe it. They found this very very interesting about their favorite football player. Okay, thank you so much. That was my presentation, and I hope to see you soon. Take care.